Today with a Veve OMI update video. Guys, if you're new, welcome. If you're not, welcome back. I love y'all. Everyone say hello to Dashi. Hello, Dashi. Commenting, liking, and subscribing is a free way to help support the channel. Non-free ways are Patreon and smashing that super thanks button down below. Super chats as well. Let's get right into it. We have a little bit to go over today. I didn't do a ton of Veve content yesterday just because I had that stream with Arya. Meet Arya is really cool. We actually won that poll where he was asking, hey, what do you guys want to see? And the Veve and OMI fam came. They represented, and we won that poll, so he will start doing that. I'm not 100% sure when. He did ask a question on what his first video should be on. And here's something that kind of made me a little curious. I noticed it on this poll, which is good. Veve fam showed out, but there was another poll. I don't know who it was by. Actually, no, I do. I do know who it was by. I don't want to open Venmo. It was... Today, you had Crypto Jack that has 271,000 followers, and he says, predicting the future of metaverse with these altcoins, Gala, Sand, Mana, your pick. And of course, I had to go and mention, well, Earth 2 is launching their Essence token next quarter, and that's going to be great, but Veve is rolling out their metaverse next quarter as well. Their OMI token will outperform everything you have on this list. I remember a time when if someone were talking about any type of token or metaverse, whatever, immediately dozens and dozens of comments, Veve, 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 OMI, etc., etc. And we just don't really have a lot of that anymore. And again, I understand that from what Crypto Rain says, the narrative has to change, and it will. Despite that, we do have enough presence. There was a couple of people out there going, oh, hey, look at, like, one of the guys' name was Loop Predictor, and then he had gone on, and he actually has 2 red O's in his name. So I figured if we can go and start really doing this again, we'll get more interest for the token. I think that's something that the next community manager should really go and try to promote, whoever that is. I don't know who they're looking to get. Like the community manager for a Web3 company in general, you're going to have slim pickings. And on top of that, you're really going to want to have someone that knows the company fairly intimately. I would like it if they hired an outsider. But I would also like it if that outsider really knew how companies ran, if they had ran companies before. There's really just not a lot of people that's going to fit that bill. And I'm not saying that they should go and just pick someone all willy-nilly just to pick them. Obviously, you want to wait for the right person, but you could be waiting a long, long time. It's like people that kind of save themselves for marriage. I understand, it's your prerogative, you're gonna get that, but you are closing yourself off to most of the dating pool that's just not gonna want to wait for that. And I don't want to get all like religious or political here, but it's just, Veve, if you're gonna go and wait for the perfect community manager, like there is no perfect community, like there is no perfect man or perfect woman. Hugh Jackman is pretty cool though. You have to just pick the best choice. Whoever the best choice is, I don't know. I hope they pick him. But I hope that they pick someone soon, because I don't know how good it looks when you say, oh, looking for a community manager, and then you don't fill that position for months. Now you can interpret that as, well, the company is in charge of all of these IPs and they need to be quite choosy. Or you could interpret it that as, okay, nobody is applying for this position because they don't want to deal with the stress. It doesn't pay enough, whatever. Double-edged sword there. But anyway, we're going to go and... Where did Arya's... Okay, here it is. He goes and he says, thanks for having me on your podcast, Real Randy Chavez. I really enjoyed it. I ran a successful poll a few days ago, and the people have spoken. I'll work on some Veve and OMI videos. The Veve fam are relentless, huge family and community. Let me know if you have any questions below, and I'll research. So I went over and just asked them, given recent macroeconomic developments, such as us getting a rate cut this quarter instead of a rate hike, ETFs for Bitcoin being approved, Ethereum ETFs being approved later in the year, and the narrative changing for digital collectibles, metaverse, and AI, what's your price prediction on OMI, given that it'll benefit from all 3 of those narrative changes, it being deflationary, and the company integrating the token more within the app every few months? He says, sounds like a great topic. He'll go over that. I'm not 100% sure when. He's one that takes a lot of time and care for his videos, so his videos are all going to be... I just go watch some of his videos. It's meet Arya _ on, and he'll go and he'll have, again, his videos are just higher quality. So you will actually get a visually better experience watching him than me. And again, he does know markets, he does know trends, and he's a really good investor. But the outside of that, it's just kind of just learning. There's a learning curve to Veve, and I'll go over some of my stuff in a minute. But I do want to go over the OMI token here. We were at 00060 again, but we are back down to 0005992. A little bit of a small little tiny pump at the end of the day, and again, kind of just coming back down from that. 870. Oh god, I'm dying. $870,000 in volume over the last 24 hours. Again, not great. No, I go over that every day. It doesn't matter. Let's see how it does compared to the rest of the markets. All right, a decent day for the markets. Bitcoin and Ethereum up 1%, BNB up 1.4, Cardano up 2.3, and you have Avalanche down 1.4, XRP down 1.1. But we do have a lot better results over the week. A few days ago, if you look at the 7-day chart, it did not look good. Everything was in the red, like double digits. Now, Bitcoin over the last 7 days only down 2.5%. ETH down only 1.4% the past 7 days. BNB actually up 6.8%. Solana actually up 2.8%. The rest of the top 10 is down, but not double digits anymore. So we're having some really good bounce backs. You see it in Chainlink, that's up 16% over on the week. We do still have stuff that is down double digits, but Celestia is up 10%. A lot of this is still red. Disregard, guys. Arbitrum is down 13%. Lido down 13%. Stacks down 12%. But Render's up 8.9%. Bittenster's up 14.9%. How's Flow doing? Flow's down 4.3% over on the week. Anyway, we're going to go and move on from that, and we're going to go to the Veve news that we have. Again, I didn't go over really much Veve news yesterday just because of the just because I had the Aria Realty podcast. So Veve Digital Collectibles says first appearance of Nebula plus the creature behind Terminu's armor revealed at long last. So this is from Marvel's Avengers number 257 from the year 1963. And it does feature exclusive rare and ultra rare covers by, Ari Owanen and Rachel Echeri. I completely butchered those names. I apologize, but it does drop on 23 January at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. That is something as a first appearance of Nebula is probably really good. You see over on the thumbnail that I have a level 55. I am level 55. What is going to be my plan for the next? What is my going to be plan for the next year? Outside of continuously trying to climb the Marvel sub 100 list, which I was number 2. I finally reached that, but I think my friend who's number 3, I think he finally reached past me. But let's see here. No, it's maybe sign in with X. Oh no, we're good. All right, so I go to leaderboards, go to Marvel. Actually, for Marvel, I'm number 281, but in the sub 100s, I finally reached that number 2 spot, where I have 130 sub 100 Marvel collectibles. My boy down here. I'll be going to him at some point next month when I have a couple days off. He's the number 3 spot. He'll likely pass me again just because when he buys stuff, he goes on a huge buying spree. And he's, in general, he's like one of the top. He's like number 82 wallet, and he's got sub 100s on almost everything. If you just take a look at the 0x772, you'll see that absolutely everywhere. Just the top Veve in general, sub 100, 0x772. He's the number 2 wallet for sub 100s on the entire app. The only one that's beating him is Dr. Profit. So again, a huge whale. Shout out to him for that. But my goals are going to be based on reality goals, which are going to be keeping that sub 100. Like, I'm never going to go and be on a high enough list to be anywhere near the top for sub 100 golden moments. Maybe sub 100 Star Wars eventually, because some of those are really cheap. Some people are really overlooking the sub 100 Star Wars stuff. Like, that's silly. I know that it's like, okay, ultra rare Darth Vader because he's animated, his first appearance. Yes, it's great. And there's like 2,500 of him. It's like, well, there's like 13,000 of the, uncommon, and the, it's like 8,000 of the rare or whatever it is. And it's like, okay, yes, you're right. There are a ton of those, and those in general are never going to go crazy, but the sub 100s probably will. Like, let's just take a look at that real quick, because people, just because it's not the ultra rare, just because it's not animated and it's not super scarce, people are really going and they're really overlooking a lot of them because like, oh, this is too low, it's too high of a supply. A high supply is the exact reason why I would go and collect those sub 100s. A sub 100 Miles Morales is not that. Miles Morales in general is special, but if you get a number 79 Miles Morales versus a number 131, it really doesn't matter because there's so few of them that, a 2 digit or 3 digit, again, it doesn't really matter. But if you go and you take a look at a sub 100 for, let's say, first appearance Captain America, Marvel Mighty, one, if they even exist, they're never on there for less than like $300, and that thing is like $8, $14, whatever it is, for the floor. Why is something like 30x the price of its floor? Why does that happen? It happens because there's only 59 of them, and yes, it's not crazy special to get. It's not any special. It is not special at all to have a first appearance Captain America. It's like $10. There's 28,000 of them. That will always be available. But what won't always be available, what's not available now, is those sub 100s. If I see one there for $200, I'll buy it right now. I guarantee you there's not. But just because those are so exceedingly rare, oh my god, why is this doing this? Okay, here we go. Oh, we have some Feesh news as well. I'll go over that in a sec. Go to Captain America in the Mighties, and as soon as it loads, he's down over at the bottom, right there. And then you go to, I own two of them, but they're not anything special. They're like 4 or 5 digits. He's on the floor. He's $9.97. The sub 100. Oh, number 62 for 250. That's close to where I said I would buy, but I'm not going to. Oh god, I should. Oh god, I mean, it's the only one there. There is no cheaper option, and that is a very cheap option. Um, I look at him not every day, but I look at him very often, and there's almost never any for less than like 350. So 250 is really not bad. Again, he also came around the time that, well, there wasn't really bots at that time. The bots really took hold like several months after this was released. This is the first Marvel Mighty set in general. We didn't actually have bots until, I would say, that summer. And this had released this released in August of 2021, so bots were a thing, but these did sell out eventually, and then the Fantastic Four actually sold out on the drop, which was nuts. But anyway, that's what I was talking about. I forget what I was going over beforehand. Oh yeah, just sub 100s in general. I'm not gonna go and try to be. If you look at my ranking on the rest of them, my collectibles, top Veve, comics, Star Wars, Disney, I'm not anywhere close. The only one I'm somewhat available close to is Marvel, which I get at number 2 anyone. I'm still way, way, way down the list. But just having that number 2 spot, I do want to try to solidify that. Again, it's not crazy special right now because there's not a ton of people in the app actively buying, but the ones that are, they're going super hard. Anyway, moving on from that. I'm level 55. You have Steven Duarte, 81. That had reached level 76. Shout out to him. And then you also have Marquand that also reached level 76. So good on him. So we have for the Batman Who Laughs, we have one of them already in the Batman Black and White series, but we have another one that's coming out. I could have sworn I had it. All right, here it is. So we haven't had a DC drop in a while. This one is a Batman Who Laughs, and you get a whole bunch of them. The actual statue. If you put all of them together, they create a statue. I'll show you what I'm talking about, because we are getting them separate. It's like they took the statue, broke it up into 4 pieces, and then they're doing this here. So if we do Batman Who Laughs, I'll show you the exact thing. Now I'm on Amazon. I don't want to be on Amazon. So anyway, this is the actual set. Like, that's the actual thing that you could get on Amazon for $145. That's a lot. But that's it just comes in that. There are some that just come in one full actual set. And what they're doing is they're saying, hey, if we go and we give this as an entire, as one statue, it's going to be a lot of money because it's 4 different characters, 4 different whatever. So instead of charging us like $250 or, how $150 for 4 of those things. They decided, hey, we're going to go and we're going to remove the base and we're going to make 4 separate. We're going to make 4 separate of these statues, and this way you can get what you want. And if you want all of them, you can get all of them. They're not going to sell out, so you're going to definitely have your pick. You have this Batman Who Laughs, $40. Again, I don't think this is blind box either. It's not, because you have the Batman Who Laughs Robin #3, $25. And again, these do look really cool. Another Batman Who Laughs. This is Robin #2, $25, 1,800 of them. And then Batman Who Laughs, Dark Robin #1, 1,150. So those are the 4. And then you have the Batman Who Laughs Dark Knight's metal emblem. So that's a craft. That's something that you can get if you get all 4, if you get the entire set. But if you do, you're looking at 40 and 75. Oh God, I'm dying. So it's only $115 to get the whole thing, and then you get the airdrop, which is fine. So that's a craft. So you need to go and forever linked. Anyone who collects full Batman set will be eligible to craft the special bonus, offering as a twisted keepsake. Limit 1 craft per set. Only collectibles purchased from the store are eligible for this particular craft. No collectibles are going to be burned. And it just looks like, which is really cool. They're not charging you for this. It's basically an airdrop. But again, it's only from people who buy it from the store, which is fun. Speaking of crafting, though, we do have to go over the crafting for tomorrow, the Happy Tree Friends. If you have this set, great. You're able to go and you can craft your set. No Happy Tree Friends are going to be burned in the making of these murals that you're able to get airdropped. Not airdrop. They cost $6, which is fine. I don't know if it's $6 for all 3 or $6 per. I think it's $6 per, but you have the... So here are the first 2. You have like a little lake, and then you have little happy trees, and then you have some more happy purple trees in like a field. $6 each, so it's $18 to collect these, but there are 555 for each. Or yeah, there's a very, very limited amount, but it doesn't say if they need to be purchased from the store or not, or like if you need to have them, and then if you go and I say, okay, I have this set. I go and I craft these for the rarity, for the scarcity, and then I sell my initial set. If you go and sell your initial Happy Friends, your Flippy and all that, I don't know if people can use that if they were already used to craft. Like if I go sell mine and then Dashie buys mine, is Dashie going to be able to craft because Dashie bought mine after I had already used them for crafting? I don't know. So if you do want to get this set, if you do want to get these murals, buy the Happy Tree Friends set now, so that this way you're not surprised tomorrow. You're like, oh, okay, these, let's say you don't want to buy them now. And then you see these selling for like $50 tomorrow. Well, I could just go and buy this set on the secondary market for like $40. I can craft these, sell these for $50, then sell that set, and then we're good to go. And then suddenly, as soon as you buy them, you see, oh, it's not letting me craft. And it's not letting me craft because these were already used. So I don't want to see that happen to people. And I don't want people going and be like, oh, Veve didn't tell us this in the first place. So better be safe than sorry. If I'm going to have any opinion on this and give any advice, it would be do not wait until afterwards to craft. Because if you go and you buy it from the secondary market after a bunch of these are already appearing, and then God forbid Veve says, oh, actually, yeah, you could only do that beforehand. Like it doesn't work if you use ones that were already used for crafting. Because then that's just going to create a lot of FUD. So yeah, that's just my advice there. Moving on. We have, where was I? New creative way to pump. Oh, I would love this. All right, I can't talk about that yet. Oh, here's a better picture of the Batman Who Laughs statue. So this is that's like one of the OG statues, and you're going to be able to do that with yours. But that one's just really cool. But then you just have some people that say this is a cash grab because they removed the bases, and like it's really not. You have Death Buddy saying, "I believe that Veve separated the Batman Who Laughs to make it more affordable to people for collecting time. If you don't got enough in the budget right now, you can get the rest later." That makes perfect sense to me. Some quotes from Warren Buffett. We have Serve Knowledge saying, "The greatest investor of all time, Warren Buffett. I've studied his philosophies and interviews for years. Here are the 5 best lessons to give you financial wisdom." And again, this is not from me. This is from Serve Knowledge saying, "Be fearful when others are greedy, and greedy when others are fearful." I say that all the time. Number 2, it's far better to buy a wonderful company at a fair price, OMI, than a fair company at a wonderful price. And we'll get into some Veve licenses in a little bit. 3, time is the friend of the wonderful business. It is. Meaning, like, if you have something that's doing really, really well, but people are not recognizing it, Tesla, that happened for years, or Veve and OMI, currently happening right now. Time is their best friend. 4, our favorite holding period is forever. 5, risk comes from not knowing what you're doing. Oh, God, I cannot agree with that more. So this is really fun for technology. In Japan, an AI system that was designed to distinguish croissants from bear claws has turned out to be capable of identifying cancer cells. That is absolutely wild. I love technology so much. So there was a space for Matt Gondek today that had already happened. He's talking about his most recent, his drop that's going to happen on the 26th, I believe. Yeah, it's the 26th. It's Big Trouble. It's just a fat Homer Simpson that ate too many donuts, and he's all a little hecked up right now. It's $50 for, it's a blind box, ultra rare and secret rare. It's $50, which generally is a little pricey, especially the ultra rare is $888. So thinking like, okay, there's a little bit of them. $50 is a big price point. Even though Matt Gunn is a very well-respected artist, we love him. I met him in person with Brittany Kahn. He's just a cool dude. And when you have something like that, it's like, okay, his stuff in the real world definitely sells a lot, but this $50 for $88, that it's expensive, and I get it, it is. But when you take a look at what the secret rare is, which again, it's basically just the same thing, just in black and white, but then you see that there's only 20 of these, and Veve's only going to keep 1 through 4. There's 16 of them. There's only 3 things on the app that is scarcer than the 16 of these secret rare Homer Simpson things. Well, what are they? Well, you have the James Bond 007 ticket. They're 1 of 7. You have the James Bond Aston Martin, which is 1 of 7. And then you have the Guardians of the Galaxy poster, which is 1 of 10. People can still go and redeem that if they won. But there is only 10 of them. So that technically counts, even though I don't know anyone that has one. I don't know anyone that bought one. I don't see any demand for that at all. But it does beat it because there's only 10 of them. So that's why everyone should, in my opinion, I'm telling my friends to go for this drop. Most likely what's going to happen is you're going to get the ultra rare. One, you're most likely not going to get selected, and you're not going to get this. But if you do get selected, you're most likely going to get the ultra rare, and you're going to spend $50, and the ultra rare is probably going to be selling for $25, give or take. That secret rare, though, if you get lucky to get it, will probably sell for $1,500, $2,000, and you also get a physical one of these as well, which sells for like $1,000. So you're getting Matt Gondek is a beast. He knows what he's doing, and it was recorded. So Veve gave you the thumbs up. They did record that. If you want to go listen. So shout out to Shankster. Shankster had his first kid. I don't know about first kid, but his he was in the labor ward as his partner's water has just popped. So hopefully the kid has come by now. That, God, like, imagine being in labor for 48 hours. Oh. Anyway, shout out to him for bringing a kid into this world. He's gonna name it the kid Miles after his Miles Morales secret rare that he has. Absolute great name. This happened the other day for OMI. You had about 18 different buy orders that were 6,666K. That was just a troll. That was just, I don't know what that was. That was just somebody making a bunch of buy orders for no reason. I don't know why. David U posts, Dan and I are trading hobbits for berets in just 7 days. Thrilled to embark on a European adventure with the Veve fam. It's more like 5 days now. Showcasing the Veve Je ne sais quoi. Thanks to OMI Tees for the artistic touch. I think it looks pretty cool. It was pretty legit. Kara, my friend. Shout out to Bobby Carpenter. He had agreed to come on the podcast. I haven't been able to lock him down. This is a picture I took of him in Ohio. At some point, I will get the general to come on. I'm not sure when, but at some point. What do we got here? We got the top 4 selling secondary market brands for the 17th. Number 4 was the Labrador XK5, which is weird. Lamborghini 350 GT, Betty Boop, and then Marvel Mighty's coming in at number 1. Top 4 selling secondary market collectibles are Beast, Storm, Betty Boop, and Betty Boop. So Betty Boop getting the top 2, Beast getting the number 4, Storm getting number 3. We have other people that have been purchasing. I think it was Low Mint Mick. He got the number 78 Todd McFarlane. All right, so Todd McFarlane in general, he's a common, but he was going for like $600-700. So what should a sub 100 go for? A sub 100 for him should go for, normally I would have said about 6,000, but because there's a lot more of the sub 100s of him than there are of most others, because most others you can only get number 41, like that's the lowest you can get. But for those of you that are new, back in the day, they had I think you could get number 16 of these, I think number 16 of these. This, the Riso, the Clunan, and then you have the same thing happened with the Adventure Time set, where the first one, you could get like the number 29 of them or the number 21, but you have these that, because there's so much more of those, I wouldn't give that a 10x. I would still give it like a good 7 or 8x, which would still be like $4,200. But this person got it for $3K. Shout out to them. Honestly, sub 100 Todd is going to be, that's the first Batman ever on the blockchain. That's getting that for $3,000 is absolutely a steal, absolutely a big steal. And yeah, that was Low Mint Mick that got it. So shout out to him. I have the Earth 2 thing that I should go over. I will go over that on another day though, because I haven't talked. I'll always put that at the beginning of the video. Ooh, we've been talking for 27 minutes. We did have an update for Veve, so go and update that if you haven't. Again, what's new is just minor fixes and improvements. Most times when we do get a Veve update, it's just minor fixes and improvements. It's only like once in a while, like a couple times a year, where we have super big updates. There's me and my friend at Harry Potter World not too long. Well, it was a few years ago. That was fun. Ed and Eddie. I did buy a little bit of Flow, just not much, like $1,500 worth, but just enough where like I really like what they have. I like what they've still survived this bear market. I don't know if they've cut any. What's that called? Any staff, but they have still been making money. And why I wanted to go over that, why I bought it, is because, well, one, again, I like what they do. I like the IP that they have, and I like that they're still making money and most likely paying their licensors. Why, Chavez, why would you bring that up? That seems a little weird. Well, Pop Culture goes and says, hey gang, wanted to give you an update on the state of pop culture. We've had a great journey with all our collectors so far and are super excited for what the future holds. And they do hold a lot of IP. We'll go over the IP in a second, but they go on to say that we've had an incredible fun at last year's Comic-Con. We've had an incredible time, starting with our very first Nia Chang Lucky Cat drop, Todd Goldman, Florida Cat, Summer of the Cinema Starchives. I would say not to mention the celebrity guest, special props to JRG07. Moving on. Kudos to all the other collectors. But sadly, it looks like our tenure at Quidd has come to an end for reasons that are out of our control. Quidd has failed to live up to its obligations and has not paid for any drops since October 1st of last year, of 2023. Until we can ensure that we are being paid, we have no choice but to ask Quidd to stop selling any of our primary packs and stop all secondary market transactions. This also goes for our co-op drops with our friends at Identity, EYE Identity. So they are how should I put this? Um, uh, Quidd is pretty much done for. Remember a few years ago when I was talking about Recur? It was May of 2022. I had just gone to VCon, Gary V's VCon in Minneapolis, over in was that Minnesota, and he goes and he talks about he loves his V friends. Jeremy Paddle was there. Got to hang out with him. Got to have a cool conversation. Mumbot was there. He had a lot of different speakers there. It was like the Super Bowl for it was like NFT NYC, but probably a little bit better because it was a lot of Gary Vaynerchuk's personal projects. There was a lot of stuff that he was invested in, and not once did he mention Recur there. And the only time he did mention Recur, I think online, was like, yeah, I invested in it, but I'm not really working on it. Why? Because he's working on his own IP. He invested in Recur, he threw some money at it, but that was it. And when he didn't mention it over at, not DesignerCon, at VCon in May of 2022, I knew it. I 100% knew it. Videos about it, talked about it. I talked about how the people that worked there didn't care about the IP, because they didn't. I made a bunch of videos about that as well. Quidd has not had a very good time. Like, remember in Avengers Endgame, where Thick Thor goes back in time to try to extract the Aether from Padme, God, what's her, Jane Foster, and then he runs into his mom, and then she says, "Oh, the future hasn't been kind to you, has it?" The world has not been kind to Quidd, and a lot of it was its own self-doing. You have a bunch of false hope propped up by Paul Barron that has said like, "Oh, he gave this like weird ranking list, and Veve ranked at the bottom, and Quidd and Recur ranked at the top." I don't know if he was paid like by Animoca Brands or whatever the reason he went and said that. Quidd did have backing by Animoca. They did raise, I think, between 20 and 50 million, and clearly the run rate of that was 2 years, or even less than that, because they haven't been paying, at least pop culture, they haven't been paying them since at least October. So you have a really big issue with that. And okay, well, if Animoca Brands has pretty much unlimited money. Okay, yes, they have hundreds of millions of dollars, and they could. Oh, you need an infusion? We'll give you a cash infusion. We'll give you $5 million, $10 million. Keep the lights on. Pay your bills. As someone who comes from high risk lending, I cannot tell you how many times I've seen other people in my position, people that were in this high risk lending game. They gave a client $20,000, $30,000, whatever, and they're like, "Hey, you paid back half the loan, cool, but you slowed down," and they work on adjusted payments for them, and then they have to stop payments for them because they can't afford it. And then the merchant will go and be like, "Hey, listen, I have this job that I can do. I have, but I just need some money for it. Just give me like, I don't need 20,000. I just need like 15, or even like 12.5. They get beggy. There's like, "Oh, I'll take this." When they get desperate and you say like, "I'll take whatever you can give me," that is a surefire way to lose your money if you give that to them. At that point, you are shining the knobs on the Titanic. So why would Animoca take a look at Quidd and be like, "Okay, listen, Quidd, in the last like 2 years, y'all have kind of made fun of Veve and kind of like you poked the bear, and that's most likely why Marvel left them, because you don't freaking do that. And then you go and you take this $20-50 million, however much they raised, and then you go and you burn it, you ruin it. Yes, you try to do your best. You tried to go and get some Veve people and make videos for you. They tried that with me, and as soon as I was like thinking about it, it's like, okay, and I would have just been honest. I would have been like, "Hey, cool, this is something that some people would probably be interested in," because clearly some people were. And I forget what they offered. They offered like $600, but they offered it in like Quidd token. I was like, if you give me 1,000 cash, I'll give an honest video of this, and I'll highlight some of the better parts. And like, "No, we'll give you $600 in Quidd token." And I was like, you guys know that not only do you have less than $1,000 in volume a day, but as soon as I get this token, I'm going to dump it. And like they seemed fine with it. I was like, okay, so you don't care if I dump on your community. You guys are horrendous business people. I'm never going to speak anything positive about you again unless they earned it, which they did not. So again, why would Animoca go and put any more good money over the bad money they already spent? They're most likely not going to. Quidd is most likely done for. Again, I could be way off here, but just in my experience, again, having called this type of thing before, yeah, this is not good for Quidd. I did want to go over a quote by Dr. Prophet here, because Dr. Prophet seemed to have some insight on this. Dr. PR. Oh my God, PR. Why is his name so hard to find? I don't understand that. All right, Dr. Prophet coming in here with the 14,000 followers over there. He deserves a lot more. Dr. Prophet says, weren't they supposed to be a Veve killer? Time to get some secondhand licenses. That is another good point. I don't know. All right, it wasn't from him then. It must have been somebody had posted about the licenses, and I'm not 100% sure who it was. It might have been on there. I'm trying to look for it now. Should I have been prepared before the show? Absolutely. Am I? No. You cannot say that my shows are not what's that called? Well, they are not authentic. They are very authentic. We are looking here live, and I can't find it. But whatever licenses that Quidd had, or I guess still has. I mean, what happened when Recur went down? I go and ask David, hey, how do you go and keep these major licenses where their first venture into Web3 was a complete disaster with Recur? How do you go and keep them excited about Web3? How do you continue keeping them in the game? And just, we already took care of that. Okay, David, casually mentioning that we most likely have Nickelodeon, casually mentioning how we most likely have Hello Kitty. Quick on down, I don't know what licenses they have, but most likely we're going to get them. If you can't be the best, you're going to have to join the best, which is Veve. Moving on here. I realize I've been talking for 37 minutes, and I don't even know what this was titled, so we're going to have to... what else was it titled? Okay, OMI to Gem I had mentioned. So OMI to Gem, why is that most likely going to be around the corner? I'll mention this, and then I'll go and answer questions, I promise. OMI to Gem has to do with Coinbase, because Meet Kevin had a video yesterday saying SEC versus Coinbase lawsuit, massive decision for crypto. Did I watch all of it? Nah. But what did I wind up doing? I wound up going and taking a look at... Where'd it go? Oh, maybe I didn't do as much as I thought. Anyway, what Meet Kevin had said basically in that video is the Coinbase lawsuit is going really, really well. You have a lot of really positive, and you have a lot of people that know what the heck they're doing at Coinbase. The SEC doesn't care. They don't know what they're doing. And basically it's going well. And if you go and you say, hey, if the judge is pretty much ruling that because crypto is so new, they do not fall under the same laws that you would use like the Bechdel test for or the three-prong test for, so they will likely not be securities, that's going to open up a whole line of stuff for Veve and OMI. Now, obviously, first thing is going to be OMI to Gem, and then you could have OMI to NFT. You could even have OMI to land again. This precedent could give Veve and OMI the green light to do really whatever they want. And if that does happen, oh my God, crypto rain will be wrong. We're not going to 5 cents this year. We'll go to like 8 cents. But again, we have to wait for that official ruling or for them to dismiss that case, and we still have to wait for some other stuff. But still, this could be a big one. Anyway, I've talked for 39 minutes. Let's get this bread. Where are we? Troy Perez says, do it. Lagarde says, Randy on fire this week with the streams. I'm trying. Prince Toby saying, ever dream about certain IPs coming to Veve? Because last night I dreamed about Gojo from Jujutsu Kaisen, the third greatest anime of all time behind Naruto and One Piece, coming to Veve. Okay. I understand you're excited. That is fighting words. I understand that Pokemon is not the most exciting anime. One of the longest runnings. And I know One Piece has like 1,400 episodes. Pokemon is really good. Dragon Ball Z, Prince Toby, you do not understand. In the 90s, you were not even alive yet, but in the 90s, on Toonami, we would watch this every day, like three to four, or whenever it was on. We used to watch Tom. Tom was the little robot guy. He would give like he's the reason I bought Paper Mario. He'd be like, I give this game an 8 out of 10. Like he's just so cool. Anyway, if you take a look at the Frieza versus Goku fight, it goes on for like 3 hours and 43 minutes. It goes on for a long time. Like that's a movie. That's a movie and a half. That is a Lord of the Rings, Return of the King, director's cut movie. How did we watch that in the 90s? That's all anyone would talk about. Like the only other animes that were really out there were like Sailor Moon and like Pokemon. Like Yu-Gi-Oh wasn't out yet. Like there was no the other animes that were out there nobody really talked about. Nobody was talking about Cowboy Bebop. Nobody was talking about like it was just Dragon Ball Z. This is a time before Attack on Titan. It was a time before My Hero Academia. It was a time before this anime renaissance that had happened in like the late 2000s, early 2010s. There was no Dead Man Wonderland. There was no Death Note. There was no, I mean, well, Fruits Basket was not an anime yet. But it was, this is what we had. And that fight that takes 3 hours and 43 minutes, that fight, we watched that over months. We watched that over several months where it didn't seem slow to us. So the fact that the Dragon Ball Z is not on that list, how heckin' dare you? But I agree, Naruto, absolutely amazing. Oh, One Piece, obviously longest running thing. Maxwell for the $5 super chat. Beer Money hit 110 million OMI. Get that, Brett. Maxwell, you're gonna have more OMI than me at some point, and I cannot be happier for you. Followed me for a long time. I cannot be happier for you. You have no idea how happy I am. That makes me feel so good. What would make me even happier is if you had 200 million and you surpassed me. Very, very happy for you. But anyway, Prince Toby, there's a. But yeah, you don't think like Fairy Tail, Attack on Titan, My Hero Academia, you know. Anyway, that's just DBZ should be on that list. But yes, I do dream about. I've had dreams that we've had Pokemon. I've had dreams that we have Nintendo. Like multiple times. It's not, oh, this happened once. You know, when you live and breathe this space, when you're like the main YouTuber, when you're the yeah, I do that. Moving on. Bill Gardner says, I was feeling good about Essence before, but I'm starting to think Essence might be the sleeping giant. Our Realty really only thinks $100 a coin. That'd be insane. Well, listen, it depends how people go and view it. If they go and view it as, hey, what's their fully diluted market cap? They're going to look at it one way. Because the fully diluted amount of tokens, you know, is going to be between 3 and 4 billion. But the circulating supply is going to be much, much, much lower. And the amount, and we don't know what that's going to be like. It could be something where they do it like Bitcoin, where you can only get it by mining. Fuck, hang on. One truck control. Mm-hmm. Some tricks. Some meds. Mm-hmm. One truck. And if you go and you take a look at the circulating supply, there's less than 200 million. So let's say we go crazy, and they go with the let's say we have 500 million. You know, by the time the peak of the next bull market. You know, what's a dollar? Okay, $500 million. That's nothing. 10. Okay, yeah, we'd be at 5 billion. That's possible. You know, $100 just from circulating supply. If we just go by circulating supply, that's $50 billion market cap, and that's very, very possible that happens. Again, $1 is 500 million. $10 is $5 billion market cap. You know, $100 is 50 billion. And again, people don't, I don't want to say they don't do what's right. When you take a look at the math and saying, okay, that fully diluted market cap, that'd be way too much. You're right, it would be. And it should not get there. It shouldn't get anywhere close to there. but it might. I mean, it might go and do things that it shouldn't do because people just look for the pump. Now, I'm not saying get to $100 anytime soon, but I think we could definitely get to dozens of dollars, which would be bananas. Moving on. Walrus King says, "Yo, Randy, what up, Walrus King?" Sean Grimes says, "What's up, bro? Just passed 2,200 comics and collectibles." I'll take a picture of that. That is so much. I'm so jelly. I'm so jelly. You guys are my heroes. Moving on. I hate it when I drop my phone on the floor. Gotta go take some, what was that, hand sanitizer. And you gotta put it all over there and make sure it gets clean. All right, what was I? Well, I was saying, considering Illuvium pumped to 2,000 a coin, I mean, anything is possible. Well, let's take a look at what Illuvium's market cap was. Let's take a look at what the circulating supply was, total supply. People got wrecked on Illuvium. Let's see here. ILV. $82 right now. We go, oh, yeah, I guess it was. It only shows 1844, but I guess it would probably wicked up there at some point. Yeah, that's wild. What is 1884 divided by 82? How do I multiply it? Oh, wait, hold on. 22. Oh, wait, hold on. Oh, so this could really do, if it just goes back to all-time high, it could do like a 20 to 25x. And it isn't gaming. That's really not bad. But let's see the supply here. Circulating supply is only 6.1 million tokens, but the total supply is 9.6 million tokens. So I don't like that they still have like 50%. Like they could increase that circulating supply by 50%. I do not like that at all. Yeah, I don't like that. They, market cap 500 million. Cool. Fully diluted valuation 780. Yeah. I don't like the token unlocks, unfortunately. But apparently it's a fun game. So, we'll see. John Garden says, "I will be level 57 in a few days." Very nice. All right, hold on. What is times 22? Let's do some quick maths here. So it's 10. Oh, so yeah, this is like a $10 billion market cap. Nice. So it's 788. Actually, I had 17 billion if you go by that. Moving on. Croner, what's up? How's it going? Peace, man. Oh, it's live long and prosper. Bill Gardner says, "Interesting, those numbers were released on X, $8 value per MCP point on 14,000 OMI per point." Wait, what numbers? No, there's no like $8 value for whoever said that one MCP point is going to be worth $8. There's just no way. Bill Gardner, if you could send me the link on what those numbers are, because I don't. Oh, shout out to you, Sean Giles, for being level 57. Very nice. Yeah, Bill Gardner, I just, those numbers don't make sense. So if you could send me a link to that, that'd be great. What says, "Do you think OMI will ever have major burns, circulating supply, continuously burning?" Yeah. Most likely we can get those to start in Q2. Figuring that's when we have the MCP specific drops, and that's the bronze tickets when we'll be able to use as I mean that's one part. Yes, you have MCP drops and people can use their MCP points. Yes, you'll have certain things where you'll only be able to get drops if you have these bronze tickets. Now, people are going to have bronze tickets at the ready, and people are going to have a bunch of MCP points at the ready. So at that point in like early Q2, there might not be any reason to have OMI to MCP points or OMI to bronze tickets. But as those numbers dwindle and they use their bronze tickets and they use their MCP points, people will go and use that method of OMI to bronze ticket and OMI to MCP point. Okay, excuse me. So this is from a B Grand 480 says, "Update on OMI reward, total unique wallets, 14,231. Okay, oh, so there's 14,000 wallets that have OMI. Total wallet balance on layer 2, 22.9 billion. Really? Interesting. So that's a good amount of the supply. That's like 7 or 8%. Yeah, it's like 7.5% of the entire. Yeah, that's really good. Total wallet balance in app. Oh, 15. Oh, okay. So on the app, there's only 15 billion. But that's not including the Veve wallet. So I'm happy with that. Which is much less. It's like 5%. Total OMI in reward pool, 13.8 billion, which only counts up to 10 million per wallet. I literally know somebody that has 100 million OMI in their Veve wallet. I don't have near that much. Price of OMI 0005895. OMI needed for 1 MCP. Oh, okay. All right. So if you have 14,651 points, 0.37 points, that's equivalent to 1 MCP point like that. Which, if you use it this way, MCP point is equal to $8.64. That they're talking about the OMI, like the amount of MCP points you get per OMI. That's what they mean. They don't mean like each of your MCP points is going to be worth $8. If so, I have like $8 million because I have 800 something thousand MCP points. Total MCP point value per OMI token is 0.000068. New total daily reward points pool 945,871. 10 million OMI held in the Veve app is rewarding about 660 points per day. In several months, so I wanted to update everyone. Okay, all right, so that's that's cool. All right, copy that. That's how they're doing it. Okay, moving on here. Thank you, Bill. Portfolio says, so what's the perfect total edition size for sub 100? There is no perfect formula. There is no like perfect ratio. It's just in general, the more, and you can't really do this anymore in today's Veve. You could really only do it 2-3 years ago when everything was popping. And when everything was popping, yeah, things sold out immediately. I remember one of the Matt Gone decks. Let's do this math real quick. We'll go over the Veve. Oh man. Ooh. All right, we got something to read. I just gotta. Once I answer this question, I will go and I have to read something. But if you go to the market, and on the market you hit the search bar, let's type in Matt. Yeah, okay, deadbeats. As long as I just go to the Matt Gone deck license, I'll be able to see. Oh, maybe I won't. Deconstructed art. Yeah, the failure of control. Well, we'll take a look at this. Failure of control. There was 5,000 editions. Oh, I can't believe you can't see it. 5,000 editions, $200 a piece. Okay. Now, obviously, 5,000, you have to take away 90 because that's what Veve does. Multiply that by 200. That is $982,000, and that sold out like that. That was a Matt Gone deck piece, and most of his stuff is very, very low. I guarantee if we go and we take a look at this, 29% on the market. People were paying $200 for these at retail. They were selling for much, much higher on the secondary market. You can now get one for $26.50. Most of Matt Gone deck stuff does not do that well, and it's not his fault. It's just the supply is so high. Why is first appearance Captain America, like his failure of control, is worth more than a first appearance Captain America? Why? Because first appearance Captain America has 28,000 editions. And this, and that's a chibi thing. This is obviously art. So that's why it commanded such a bigger price. So again, it's not his fault. But this was a time when Veve, and again, this is Matt Gone. Like, how many people heard of Matt Gone deck before Veve? I bet not a lot of people. This made almost $1 million in 6 seconds because of how feral people were. So when I see a comment that says, "What's the perfect total edition size for sub 100?" In an ideal world where people are once again feral for Veve, which it'll come back, but the larger the supply, the better it is for the sub 100s. You would need something very popular, like popular character. Like if they don't give us, let's say that Star Wars month's coming up in a couple months. We've got 4 months. And then may the force be with you. So what happens there? I hope we get Grogu. I hope we get Baby Yoda. I hope we get droids. I hope we get Padme Amidala. I hope we get the Millennium Falcon. But you know who the #1 duo is of all time? I went over this on a live stream the other day. Maybe it was a video. I have to take a look at it. I might have jumped the gun a little too quick here. Okay, 10 most iconic duos. Paul McCartney and John Lennon, Scooby and Shaggy, Snoopy and Woodstock, Tom and Jerry, Romeo and Juliet. Those are number 6 through 10. What are the top 5 most iconic duos ever? Well, you have Bert and Ernie, which we have, Sesame Street. Number 4 is R2-D2 and C-3PO. Expected them to be a little bit higher. But they're number 4. Number 3 is Mario and Luigi. Cool. Number 2 is Batman and Robin. It's really big. But out of the 10 top most iconic duos of all time, number 1 is Han Solo and Chewbacca. If you want to have something with a really, really good sub 100 ratio, you do not want to get Han Solo and Chewbacca this May. If you do that and you get them this May, they'll be like 3,000. You'll only get a couple thousand of them. Whereas if you go and get them in May of 2025 at the peak of the next bull market and people are going crazy, you might get editions of them where they're like 20,000 or more, or 30,000, whatever it is. Then those sub 100s, oh child, oh girl, ooh, you don't even know. Then the sub 100, then the 3 digits are special. But the sub 100s have that extra pure layer of just holy goodness. So that's what in ideal world, that's what you would want. When you go to things like right now, yes, I have a bunch of sub 100, Marvel Mighties. Like I have the most Cassie Langs. In general, I have the most Cassie Langs than anyone, but I have 19 of the 57 sub 100s there are. There was a couple of Cassie Langs that, out of the 90 that were held back, 2 of the ones that were held back were sub 100. So normally there's 59. Cassie Lang was 57, and I have 33% of her entire sub 100 supply. Why is it not as special? Because there's like 3,200 of her. It's not really, the sub 100s aren't as special when there's only 3,200 of something. If she had even if she had 8,000 or 10, close to that number, sub 100s be a little bit more special. But 3,200, not a lot. There's even the 3-digit ones. Okay, there's 900-ish of them. They're not, it's whatever. But that's what you want in an ideal world. So I hope I answered your question, portfolio. Oh my god, my hip. Ow, my right hip. Okay. Unreal Chandy Rabbit says, what do you think will be the most valuable in 10 years? Ultra Rare Miles Morales or the common version of the first Spider-Man? Well, rarity does make you go and have that does play a part, but that's right now when there's not a lot of people here. Ultra Rare is good, but I would think that the Ultra Rare right now is not that far ahead of the rare Miles Morales. I'll show you. Oh shoot, I have to answer this though. The future of Marvel Comics, X-Men, and digital comics. Oh wait, hang on. Hey, hang. Oh, okay. So breaking news. Okay, can I use this in stream and to advertise? Why is this at South by Southwest? This is wild. I don't understand this at all. I have to see if I can talk about this real quick. Because I might not be able to yet. I should be able. But why is that in this particular festival? I don't. Okay, we're gonna. All right. We'll answer this question first. Um, we'll go to the Miles Morales thing first, and then we'll talk about this. I hope. But be advised. All right. So, Secret of Miles Morales. Obviously, that's a grail. Secret of Miles Morales is $14,000. I ain't nobody getting that. Rich people can get that, no problem. Or if people just work super hard, they can get that. Whatever. Okay. All right. We'll get back to Miles Morales and Peter Parker. I'm sorry for this delay, but we're gonna have to go and reshare this live over on the X on the Twitter because this is bananas. Quote. All right, no, I got this. I got this. Hey everyone, come stop by as I talk about Dan, because this involves Dan Crothers, and then this will involve me as well, because I'm gonna go to my account here. I'm gonna go to my live, and I'm gonna ask everyone if they could do me a solid and smash that like button. Free what helps support the channel. Thank you. Thank you for whoever did that. So we're going to copy this link. We're going to go on the X and be like, come stop by as I talk about Dan. Should I tag him in this? I don't know if I should tag him in this. I won't. As I talk about Veve, COO, Dan Crothers. Let me make sure this is fudge. All right. Veve COO, Dan Crothers, and his appearance at South by Southwest. Because Dan Crothers be at South by Southwest talking about the future of Marvel Comics, X-Men, and digital comics. About Marvel. Talking about Marvel Comics. And then I will paste that, and hopefully people recognize our view post. Send now. All right, so we're gonna go and read this here. Ooh, a little Comey Skywalker. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you, Comey Skywalker. Gotta love you. Now where was I? So the future of Marvel Comics, X-Men, and digital comics. March 14th, 2024. That's when this will take place at the Austin Convention Center, Room 9AB, Room 9 Alpha Bravo, between 2:30 p.m. and 3:30 p.m. CT. Country time? I don't know what that is. Central time. Join Marvel Comics Editor-in-Chief CB Cebulski and VP Executive Editor Tom Brevoort to be the first to learn what's coming next for Marvel's X-Men comics this summer. When everything you know, all right, let's do this. When everything you know about mutant kind will change in X-Men from the ashes. Hear directly from some of today's most influential, groundbreaking comic book creators on how they plan to evolve the X-Men mythos and launch this new era. In a broader conversation about the evolution of print and digital comics, join Marvel and their leaders of the revolutionary technology and digital collectibles platform Veve to discuss the intersection of storytelling and tech coming together in some exciting new ways in 2024. God, that is so heckin' cool. So that's wild. That's gonna be really fun. If we did not, we didn't need any more proof. God, that did a number on my throat. We didn't need any more proof that Veve's number one, and the intimate relationship between Marvel and Veve could not get any closer. But here it is, getting closer. This is really cool. I guess the South by Southwest Music Festival is not necessarily just for music. Now, I mean, don't get me wrong. One of the first things that I think of when I hear X-Men is the music. And again, this, Prince totally might not remember this because he wasn't alive, but back in the 90s, again, 90s, Marvel had, comic books had this renaissance era in the 90s where they had Batman the animated series, they had the Superman show, they had Spider-Man the animated series, and they had X-Men. And what was the most exciting thing about X-Men in the opening? It was like, like it was so hecking good. Like oh my god, go listen to X-Men theme song. It was so ubiquitous, even today, that you've heard it twice recently in the last couple of years. One was last year when we had Ms. Marvel. Ms. Marvel appeared, and spoilers for Ms. Marvel if y'all haven't seen it. I feel like not a lot of people have seen it. It was actually pretty good. But in the last episode, her friend that she like friend zones, waste his time. 2023. The friend that she has goes and says like, "Listen, Kamala, we sequenced your DNA, and your DNA has been mutated." When I tell you, I screamed when I heard that little Steph, Yo Steph on Twitter, on X. I had gone with her to see Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. We had gone to I forget what theater we went to. We went to go see that together, and I get spoilers for Doctor Strange and Multiverse of Madness. Doctor Strange goes to this random universe where you have Captain Carter. You have this is what they have here is called the Illuminati. It gets really wild. You had Reed Richards of Fantastic Four. You had Kamala Khan. You have Monica Rambeau's mother. I forget her name. I think it's Maria Rambeau as their version of Captain Marvel. You have one of their sorcerers. I forget his name. And then rolling in his yellow wheelchair, Professor X. And what do you hear? So again, it's so ubiquitous that it's still used in Marvel media to this day. I don't know what they're doing at South by Southwest Music Festival, but there you go. We have it. We have it there in black and white. Shout out to Joseph Enochs. How have you been? It's been so long. Good to see you, Randy. We made it this far. Let's go to my brother, my man. Whenever I say like my man, I feel like the one clocks back a few years ago, where you had the Justice League movie trailers, where you hear a cover of the Beatles come together, like "Come Together," and in that scene where they're all like, all of the Justice League are coming together. I know that sounds dirty, but we're better than that. No, going to horny jail. When that scene comes out, the come together, you have Aquaman coming in and like basically flying. He's surfing on like a body he just stabbed. And he's like, all right, I'm kind of flying here. Can someone come pick me up? And like Cyborg comes in and picks him up. I was like, my man. So anytime I say like my man, like that's what I think of. I know nobody needed to know that, but I just needed to tell you. Anywho, thank you so much, Joseph. It's been a while. Shoot me a DM. Holla at your boy. Where was I? Okay, yes. So now that we've talked about Dan going, the COO going and talking about this, okay, what does this mean? Programming descriptions are generated by participants and do not necessarily reflect opinions of SXSW. Okay, well, that's fine. I'm not gonna go. Oh, I should go to this. Oh, I should go. Oh no, I'll still be filming the movie by this point. I'll be in the Stealing Manhattan movie. I won't be able to go. That's why I can't be at the thing next week. The France event. I'm not able to go to that because But yeah, this is wild. Anyway, we'll go over that again in further detail. But right now, ooh, there's a schedule. Where else will David and Dan be? Okay. All right, well, that's one. All right, what if I just go and there's a search everything? Okay, if I search Veve, oh, heck yeah, girl. All right, so we've already talked about the future of Comics X-Men, digital comics. Dan Crothers. Dan is COO and co-founder of Veve, which began in 2018 by collectors and for collectors to bring premium that really ends on a cliffhanger? Oh, can I like view this here? By bringing premium licensed NFT, digital collectibles, and comics to the mass market, with over 10 million NFTs sold, Veve offers digital collectibles from leading brands such as Marvel, Disney, Star Wars, and more. So that's an event featuring Dan Crothers, and then you have Brenda Chan, who okay, no, that's Vive. Jashima Wadera, who's at Vivo. Jerry Ellsworth is at Vive. Oh, actually, well, we're partnered with Vive, so this could actually be something that's good. Brenda Chen is an immersive media designer and XR artist working at the intersection of art, music, and tech to craft experiences that are vibrant through provoking and fun, that are thought-provoking and fun. She directed virtual concerts for John Legend and Justin Bieber. Wow, that's pretty dope. Best Metaverse performance at the VMAs, and created content for The Weeknd, Tanashi, Dylan Francis, a one-stop shop for all things XR. This is really cool. This could be virtual concerts in the Veveverse. Again, just because Apple Vision Pro, I know everyone's super excited about that, and I am as well. I heard it's dope. But you have Brenda Chen at the storytelling age of virtual worlds. Again, she's from Vive, and again, we are partnered with HTC Vive. So it's the same thing with Jerry Ellsworth, the founder and CEO of Tilt 5, saying Jerry Ellsworth, oh, good God, it's a woman, is an inventor, producer, creator, and chip designer and system-level engineer. Her broad skills set enables her to design reliable, low-cost, and highly integrated systems. Blah, 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 blah. Get to the HTC Vive. Where are you? Why do they have such a big list for her and not for Dan? 2011, she was personally recruited by Gabe Newell, CEO and co-founder of Valve. No, that's Valve. Why does she not have? This group would become the key contributor to the technology used in the popular HTC Vive and Oculus. Okay, so that's that. All right, so that's Veve. But maybe if I go and search David, maybe that will bring up something. Maybe I should have just typed in David U, because there's a lot of Davids on this. It just seems that, well, that's the only one right now. Let's type in David U and see if David U brings anything up. There is no David U. There's David Welsh, David Neiman, Alfonso David, David Pierce. So it just seems like Dan's the one that's going. David might be going too, but he's just not speaking. And again, just because they're not speaking doesn't mean that they won't have a booth. And obviously Dan is speaking at this, but he's not but he is not. Hold on. Let's go home. Go to the link again. Sorry about this. We'll do this another. Okay, moving on here. Where was I? All right, so let's get back to the ultra rare miles and then well, let's do the rare miles. So the rare miles is $400, and the ultra rare miles is what, is $600. So there's really not that much of a difference between the ultra rare and the rare. It's 50%, but again, it's a difference of a couple $100. Whereas the common Miles Morales, or the common Spider-Man, Peter Parker. Well, the common Spider-Man, like that one, that I don't know if that was severe. That might have been severely botted, because you had that go down real quick. So if we go, no, outside of that, we'll just type in Spider-Man in general, and let's see where it takes us. There's so many versions of the common Spider-Man. The Peter Parker, anyway. He's at $55. But there's 32,000 of him. Now, just because there was 32,000 made doesn't mean that there's 32,000 that's ever going to be available. There's most likely going to be a lot less than that. You can get the number 43 for $10,000. But even with the 3 digits, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them on sale, and you can get you get 338 for 170. But you know, and again, the 3 digits, there's only 900-ish of them, or 899, whatever. Because you only have it from 100 to 999. there is the 3-digit. So in Pokemon back in the day, what you saw was a lot of people get first edition PSA 10s were fairly easy to get. And then it came that, a lot of money started coming into the hobby. It started with Pokemon Go. You saw a bit of an increase and then a little bit of a drop off. And then in like 2018, I started getting in. I bought at like a low. I bought in what's called a buyer's market because, things were really low. And then I noticed the patterns. I started getting more and more into it. Started talking about videos in 2020, whatever. Then it just blew up. Like it blew up like nobody's business in late 2020. Well, I guess, yeah. Well, I guess in like mid 2020, it started blowing up. And because I'd been talking about it for so long and I had gone on and I forget where I was going with this. What was I saying? Spider-Man? Okay, so yeah, this is where I was like, eventually the first edition PSA 10 started becoming out of reach for people. And you just weren't able to do it. Like you could do it for most of the set, but then you saw a bunch of sets were saying like, okay, I can't complete all of these in PSA 10. So I have most of these in PSA 10, some of these in PSA 9. And they eventually got so far out of reach, people were just like, listen, I'll just get a PSA 9 set. It'll be a lot easier. Nobody really gave a damn about the PSA 7s or PSA 8s. But as it started going up, you're like, okay, listen, you could buy whatever you wanted. 3 months later, it was going to be up. Didn't move as fast as some of the Veve stuff did, but it was going to be up. So a lot of people really started looking as the 10s and 9s got out of reach to the 8s and to the 7s. People do binder sets, so do whatever. So what I'm saying like right now is that right now we're in this buyer's market. Right now we're in this bear market, buyer's market, whatever you want to call it. And 2-digit ones are great. You have people like me, you have people like Mr. 41, you have my friend that's literally the number 2 wallet for sub 100s on the entire app. And they're going for that. It's big money, it's special, but it's kind of few and far between. You can probably name within like 30 people that actually hunt sub 100 stuff. But I don't know of anyone. I think Tamara Hanna, she collects like 3-digit Marvel Mighties. Now, eventually, there will be people that will covet the 3 digits because the 2 digits will just be out of reach. So, if we're just talking about special mint numbers, like 2-digit ones, or 3-digit ones, then yeah, common Spider-Man. But if we're talking about price in general, the common Peter Parker Spider-Man would have to 10x, and then it would be kind of on par with the ultra rare Miles Morales. So in 10 years, the ultra rare Miles Morales will probably still be king, at least over that common Peter Parker. But again, it depends how many of those are still going to be left, how many of those are botted. But right now, ask any person under the age of like 20 who Spider-Man is, and most of them are going to say Miles. Well, maybe not, because the video game still, Peter Parker's still prevalent in it, but Miles Morales is very, very heavy. Spidey and His Amazing Friends, on the Disney Plus show for kids. Yeah, you have Peter Parker, and yeah, you have Gwen Stacy, but you also have Miles Morales. He's the brown person Spider-Man. I obviously I grew up with Peter Parker, but nowadays it's slowly but steadily shifting. So in 10 years, I would say that ultra rare Miles will still be outperforming, or at least still be more expensive than the common Peter Parker Spider-Man. Because again, you have like a dozen different versions of Peter Parker Spider-Man. You only have that 3 different versions in the same set of the Miles Morales. Are there going to be others? Sure. Well, there'll likely be other Miles Morales. I hope we get a Miles Morales Mighty. We already have a Peter Parker Mighty. But yeah, that's excuse me. That's something that, again, just my prediction. Moving on. Potential Human says, find joy in giving a finger to a human. Press thumb for Randy. He won't be mad. Trust the potential. Go ahead. Try. Yeah. Smash that like button. Mark D says, that London police print at Crypto XR is so incredibly fine. And what a screaming deal for attendees. TLP would normally list that at £1,000. It's a sick, sick piece. The London police are incredible people. They're pretty heckin' awesome. Earth to Anubis. How you doing, fam? Hope you're doing well. Milham saying, "Hey buddy, how you been? What's up, Milham? I hope you and the poopy butt are doing okay. I hope you guys are laughing and loving life because life's about to get real good real soon." Bill Garner says, "Fortune favors the bold." It does. It do be favoring the bold though. It do be favoring the bold. Moving on. Mark D says, "I think 115 for the full 5-piece Batman Who Laughs set is very reasonable. That's a showpiece item put together." Agreed. Mark D says, "The Gondek Big Trouble is super dope. I'll be scooping that one way or the other. Are you going to get the secret rare?" Mark D says, "Lots of exciting stuff. You gotta love it." Bude says, "Evening, Randy." Well, good evening, Bude. I'm like 50 minutes behind. Bogart says, "A lot of these NFT platforms are missing a huge element that can keep them afloat, and that's crypto." That's true. But VV is still the best. JP Trees says, "OMI calm before the tsunami." I think we'll be calm for the next few months. And then I think in April they start delivering. And then May they start delivering a little bit more. You have Star Wars month to get a little bit hyped. I think by mid to late Q2 you see OMI start moving. And again, the narrative could change at any time. I don't believe the narrative for VV, not for VV, for just digital collectibles or the metaverse at large, that likely won't change until the second half of the year. But when that narrative changes, it's going to rocket. But I do think that OMI is incredibly undervalued. And when you take a look at, excuse me, you'll reach that inflection point where people will be like, okay, this is enough. OMI is very stupid low. And they'll go in and they'll buy it, not because the narrative changed, but because they have money from other places, they have money in their pocket, and they'll take some profits from somewhere else. They'll put it into OMI. That's a wonderful company, and you can get it at a very good price. I would not expect OMI to really move in the next number of weeks or even couple months. I do think we start to move though at some point after that. Fudge. Ryan Veve says, "The real Randy Chavez. Hope everything went smooth for your acting journey in Hollywood. Slow but steady. We got this." Darth Chaos says, "Hello there. General Darth Chaos. Maxwell, thank you so much for the super chat. Hit 110 million OMI. It's amazing. I'll get that, Brett." Prince Toby says, "Oh, you think Goku vs. Frieza was a long fight? I spent 11 hours watching the Luffy vs. Katakuri fight. I love Dragon Ball. It was my first real anime. But the heart's the proper list and where it should rank. I I respect your opinion." Why am I dying? I don't know why. Sleeping Comet says, "Randy, what's up, Sleeping?" Ooh. Prince Toby says, 1, Naruto. 2, One Piece. 3, Jujutsu Kaisen. 4, Attack on Titan. 5, DBZ. 6, Attack on Titan. Oh, okay, I gotcha. Bleach. 4, Attack on Titan. 5, DBZ. 6, Attack on Titan. 7 is Bleach. 8 is Baki. 9 is Berserk, the 90s version. 10 is A Silent Voice. It's a movie, but it's an anime, so it counts. Okay. No Dead Man Wonderland on there? No Death Note? No 7 Deadly Sins? No Fairy Tale? This is the good stuff, man. This is no My Hero Academia. This is the good stuff. Sleeping Comet says, "Almost level 73. Send it, Sleeping, send it." Bill Garner says, "Just send it." Bill Garner says, "So if Illuvium had 5 million coins circulating and hit 2,000, the market cap would be 10 billion. If Earth 2 does the same, this run at 500 million coins, that would essentially be a $10 essence." Well, it'd be a $20 essence. So yes, and Earth 2 has likely going to have a lot more users. Earth 2's secondary market right now is insane. It goes absolutely bananas. I think Earth 2 will outperform Illuvium, Decentraland's Mana, and Sandbox's Sand. Same thing with Vivian Omi. I think Earth 2's Essence and Vivian Omi, they're going to have some dogfights. Energy, peace, man. JP Trees says, "Bill Garner, I think it was 32,000 tokens for Lufium or something below 300,000 circulating supply. Red Nash, how much? Meow. Oh, who this? Meow. Okay. Prince Otis is meant to put Black Clover for number 6. I feel you. Bitcoin BMW. Give me that wink. What up, fam? And then we have Premium Digital Dope says, what up, Randy? Like button smashed. Thank you so much. And thank you, Akomi Skywalker, for the glasses and the dollar super sticker. Energy, giving me those hearts. Premium Digital Dope says, SXSW Veve music drop. I mean, we're likely going to have a bunch of... Yeah, I can't wait. That vertical is going to be really cool. Both guys, I'll tell you this. Both music and anime are likely ready to go. I don't know what they're waiting for. They might have to wait until MCP and OUP are more finished, but it's coming. Aaron says, I've been to South by Southwest, and they have a lot of panels. When I went a couple years ago, there was a lot of NFT discussions. Ooh, I gotta take a... Oh, man, I hate it when I have to go and type in my actual password instead of using the thumbprint. That's just wrong. He's wrong. Okay. Oh, God, I'm huge. I don't need that. Oh, God. Okay. Marlo Chris Snoop says, do you have a link showing evidence we get on a big exchange in Q2? For Earth 2? Oh, no. For Veve and OMI. It's just inferring. It's just reading the data, and the data shows an exchange coming in Q2. What I'm really referencing here is, I'll reference a couple things. David, on his interview with Meta Money, she had interviewed him not too long ago. It's like a week or so, and she said, "Hey, exchanges, the community wants to know what's going on with that. You have a crypto, you're on like no exchanges." And David had said, well, we had applied to, a bunch of the top tier exchanges, and, they have their things that you need to do, and we're really just waiting on them. Maybe some of them were waiting on them. I do think they are timing it, though. When you have a blockchain team with, let's say, 5 to 15 people, anywhere in between there, right? When you have a blockchain team, most likely they're going to tell you, hey, you don't want to waste a listing in a bear market. You have a lot of traders that say, like, hey, don't even look at alts until after the halving. Earth 2 is going, and they're going to have their token at or around the halving. That's when that's going to launch. So Veve, again, if they're smart, which they are, smarter than most, they're going to follow suit, and they're going to go and say, hey, let's wait till at or around the halving, and probably a few weeks after that, they'll get on an exchange. But again, that's just my opinion. I could be dead wrong. Maybe they wait till Q3, but I'm going to say in Q2 we have an exchange. What was that? Premium says Q2 exchanges because Stone Cold said so. Just Vinox, thank you so much for the super chat. You are the man. Good to see you, Randy. We made it this far. Let's go. Joe's big hugs. Love you. VM says, hey, Randy, do you prefer golden moments or mighties? Well, I like sub 100s. It depends on the mighty, and so if we talk, any golden moment is likely going to be better than not the Incredibles. I don't know this movie franchise that I'm about to quote here, but I'm going to tell you because I haven't. They're basically the low version of the mighties. I'll be stupid as soon as I say it. The Eternals. I don't care what golden moment set it is. 99.99% of people will prefer any set of golden moments over the Eternals mighties. That being said, like I love Lion King, and I love most of those golden moment sets, but Wally is loved. Wally is beloved by most. Most who watch it have a special place, in their heart for it. I'll take some of the Marvel Mighty sets over Wally. But that's my own personal opinion. What do I like as far as like what my personal tastes? My personal taste is like I love Cassie Lang. I love my sub 100 Spidey 2099. I love a bunch of my sub 100s. But as far as ROI, it would probably be better for me or just for Dashi, whoever, to buy sub 100 golden moments than it would be to buy the sub 100 Marvel Mighties. The reason why I am focusing on the Marvel Mighties is because the Marvel Mighties is going to continue for the foreseeable future, at least the next couple years. Whereas the golden moments are done, but that is another reason to go and collect them, I guess, is because I mean, if I were to finish getting a sub 100 from each golden moment, cool. It's done. When it's done, it's done. But for the Marvel Mighties, they're going to keep producing content. They're going to keep producing sets. So once that's over with, once that's done, I mean, it's never going to be done. You'll still always have something to chase. So that game keeps going. But for ROI, I mean, even if you have more fans of Captain America or more fans of Ant-Man than Flounder, from The Little Mermaid, I guarantee you that there's going to be much more than 59 people, that's how many sub 100s there are, that love Sebastian and Flounder. And they're just going to reminisce on this. Like, there's an episode of Young Sheldon in season 2, season 3, whatever, where Georgie is selling these snow globes, these Texas snow globes. And he's having bad luck until he runs into this guy and says, I remember when the last time it snowed in Texas, I mean, my brother built a snow fort. And he goes and he learns, oh, if you emotionally connect with people, then you have them palm in your hand, you could sell them. So he goes on and he says to the other people, like, you remember the last time it snowed? He has got a Southern Texan accent. Like, you remember the last time it snowed? You remember making snow angels? Your kids made snow angels. Little angels making angels. He tugged on those heartstrings. I guarantee you have a lot more than 59 people go and get the Sebastian Flounder or Timon and Pumbaa. I love Timon and Pumbaa. I love Lion King. So golden moments are likely to be the sub 100s better ROI than the Mighties, depending on the character. But for the most part, just because the golden moments are done, and then there's not going to be any more. That could be a big turnoff for some people that go and they look at the Marvel Mighties and be like, okay, I got it, cool, I got these sub 100s, but there's always more content, and it's like, ugh, when am I ever going to be done? And you're never going to be done. And that's why Veve and Marvel are doing it, because people like me are just going to keep wanting foam at the mouth and getting them every time. Millionaire Tees says, hola, everyone. Hola, Millie. Bill Garner says, what up? My collectible is big on 3-digit comics, too. Very nice. Big A says, when you say NFT bear market, are you specifically talking about Veve, or do you think the general NFT market is still in the bear market? You've had some signs of back in the day, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, I used to see people all the time saying, swept this floor, swept that floor, somebody just swept this floor. And it didn't matter what NFT project it was, that was always happening constantly, every single day. And for a year and a half, I didn't see that. And slowly, very slowly, I've started to see people be like, just swept the floor of this collectible, they just swept the floor of this project. And it's like, oh, okay, that's, I haven't seen that in a while. It's like spring and the cicadas are all coming up to screaming. And I've seen that with, with Veve and stuff too. I've obviously seen it more in Veve because I'm more in tune with that ecosystem. But I've finally started to see that with other people in other Web3 projects. It's still nowhere near the amount that we would see, 2 years ago, but it is starting. So I would argue that yes, still in the bear market, but signs of life, have been breathed in. That's just what I see right now. And, other people would come in and be like, well, I actually see that all the time now, which I just don't see it, but maybe other people do in random projects. Or somebody could be like, well, listen, Chavez, you must have found these unicorns because I ain't seen anyone talking. All of these things are still going down in value. All of these things are still going out of business. Again, I'm just reporting what I see, which is not everything, but it's, just my purview. James Brown, I feel good, says DBZ is the OG, but the story is honestly bad. No. That story is so good. You did not talk crap about my Dragon Ball Z. The story is very good. The story is, especially my favorite one is the Android and Cell saga, because you have different timelines going on, you have different storylines. Some people trying to look at Dr. Giro's lab, some people trying to fight the clown androids that Dr. Giro made versus the other ones, 16, 17, and 18, versus you have Trunks' timeline, you have Cell's time. Like it's so good. Oh my god. You don't at me, bro. Like, no, obviously, God, it's still so good. Like even like the Saiyan saga, like for people that read the manga, it's like, okay, Goku's just a really strong kid that happens to have a tail, and it's just a story about this really strong kid. You do a time skip, 7 years to where suddenly Raditz comes down in a spaceship, and Goku's not human, he's an alien. What? Everyone's mind is blown, they did it so well. Like Goku dies. Like they have him and he straight up dies. And it's like, oh my god, they just started this. How does he die? Like what is going on? And then they introduce Otherworld. They introduce Snake Way. You sing King Yemma. Then you get to meet King Kai, and they talk about this planet with this heavier gravity, and the Saiyans are strong, and Piccolo's training Gohan, and they're fighting dinosaurs, and Yamcha dies from Cyberman. Like you have these real stakes, and you have these stakes where not everybody makes it out alive. Not everything is written up in a neat bow. Even at the end of the saga, after Goku comes back and he's still not strong enough. Yes, he trains his heart out, and you see it. Oh wow, Goku, he's fast, and he beats Nappa fairly easily. But Nappa just took out the rest of the Z fighters, and he fights Vegeta, and he has his Kaioken, and he's trying his hardest, but Vegeta does still he'll beat him, especially when he turns into the big ape, and then Gohan does, and it's just, and again, even then you have Z fighters that have died, and then they don't defeat Vegeta. Vegeta's kind of walking with his tail between his legs. He almost dies, but he escapes. He goes to Namek, and he's like, oh man, shouldn't have done that. Shouldn't have let him leave. Now he's gonna go to Namek. He's gonna find these Dragon Balls. He's gonna commit genocide, and you see him utterly destroy the Namekian population in search of these Dragon Balls. Well, we're the ones that let him go. Now we're the ones that have to go find him. We're the ones that have to stop him from doing this. Okay, so you think they're just going to fight on another planet where they see more people like Piccolo? You meet Nail, and then not only that, but Vegeta is struck speechless because of the Ginyu Force. We're done for. The Ginyu Force is Frieza's most elite fighting force. That's who they replaced the Saiyans with after he blew up Planet Vegeta. And you kind of see Vegeta, who's the big bad in the Saiyan saga. He kind of gets his butt kicked by Zarbon after he transforms. But then, he has Dende heal him. He goes and he defeats Dodoria. He eventually goes and defeats Zarbon. Um, but, and Piccolo's there, and you meet Nail, and you think, okay, well, they're fighting the Ginyu Force, and they're, once again, Z Fighters getting their butt handed to them. Gohan, Krillin, and Vegeta joining forces to try to fight the Ginyu Force, and they wind up defeating the little dude, I forget his name. And then guess what? Raccoon comes in, breaks Gohan's neck. Oh my, and they show the body. They just, whew. Krillin is done with. I think his spine is busted. Then comes Goku. Big Daddy Goku coming in with some sensu beans, kicking Raccoon's butt. Vegeta had a broken arm. Vegeta was destroyed, and suddenly he turns on the sensu beans, and Goku not only defeats Raccoon in one blow, he goes and takes on Jason Birder at the same time, only for Captain Ginyu to fight him. Goku's beating Captain Ginyu. Captain Ginyu puts a hole in his own chest. Goku's over there. Captain Genyu's over here. He goes, and Goku's like, what the fudge, guy? What the fudge? And then Captain Ginyu goes and then they switch bodies. So Goku's in Captain Genyu's body. He has a hole in his chest. He's destroyed. So him, Krillin, and Gohan have to fight Captain Ginyu in Goku's body. And then it's okay, they eventually switch back, but Goku's done for. There's no more sensu beans. He has to go into this healing pod. So you have Vegeta, you have all the Dragon Balls that were collected. Um, and then you have Frieza trying to go and unlock it. They fight. You have Gohan, Krillin, and Vegeta straight up fighting Frieza, the most baddest dude. He's the baddest cat in the galaxy at this time. And Vegeta, to his credit, does really well against the first form of Frieza. Second form comes in, he's done. He's done. Goku gets really mad because he beats up Krillin because and he goes da 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 da, and that's really cool. But second form Frieza eventually gets the better of him, and then Piccolo, after he fuses with Nail, Piccolo basically puts his hand on Nail's chest and absorbs him like an amoeba, and he goes on and reverse mitosises, and he's super strong. He goes and kicks Frieza's ass, and then Frieza does another transformation. This is his second one, his third form, and suddenly he's overpowered, he's oversped, he beats him, he gets beat. And they all of them together go and they're like, okay, Frieza, we know you have another form. Because at this point, if all of them together, Gohan's still kicking butt there, releasing a bunch of energy when he gets mad. He goes into his final form. He's too fast to be seen. But then Goku's done healing, and he comes back, and he's just like, da, da, da. And ensues the greatest fight that anime has ever seen. Maybe at that time, maybe ever. And then you come back and you think things are cool, things are chill. Goku died defeating Frieza, but he did. He did. He defeated him. He's done. They could all chill on Earth in peace. And then what happens? Frieza's coming back. I thought we defeated him. The planet blew up. Well, Frieza's father, who is he's a lot stronger than Frieza. What happens then? He finds him. He does the AOL instant messenger guy. We can repair him. We have the technology. And Frieza at this point is more machine than man now, coming to destroy Earth. And then suddenly they don't have Goku. They have Vegeta and Piccolo and Tien and other people that can maybe kind of give Frieza a little bit of work. But with King Cole, his dad, that's a lot stronger than Frieza. Earth is done for. And then you have this random person out of nowhere. We don't know his name. He's a mystery fighter. He could turn Super Saiyan. What? Vegeta goes and loses his goddamn mind. Goes and says like, me and Kakarot are the last Saiyans in the universe. Take his half-breed son over there. That's 3. We're the last ones left. Who are you? Not knowing that it's his son from the future. What? I could keep going on and on, but I feel like I've spent enough time on this. So when you say, James Brown, that the story is honestly bad, I didn't even get into the Saiyan saga. I didn't get into the Cell saga, the Boo saga, DBZ Super. You watch your mouth, young man. How dare you? Okay, moving on. Jason Pena, thank you so much for being a member. Says speculation on Star Wars Grail in 2024. Han, Leia, Death Star. Let's go in and I would like the Millennium Falcon. I would like Leia. I would like Padme Amidala. We don't have Mace Windu yet, do we? Yeah, give me him. We have his lightsaber. But that's the other thing. We have the Kylo Ren lightsaber. Give us Kylo Ren. We have the Mace Windu lightsaber. Give us Mace Windu. We have the Yoda and Grogu lightsaber. Give us some fucking Grogu and Yoda, please. I'm sorry. That was, I didn't mean that. I did, but I didn't. That originally, that's what David had said. Oh, well, you have these lightsabers. It would make sense that you would get the collectibles that you could put the lightsabers in their hands. Give us Rey Skywalker. I don't give a Rey Skywalker Palpatine. I don't give a fudge. Give us Darth Maul. Darth Maul was, oh my God, he was such a bad cat. He was a chef's kiss. Love him. Give us Sidious. Give us Tyrannus. Give us Qui-Gon Jinn. Qui-Gon Jinn is just ahead of the rest of the Jedi Order. I loved him more than anyone. We have Obi-Wan. We have Luke, but, give him my Qui-Gon. Sodium Papi says, thoughts on moving 5 to 10% of Essence profits once it launches into Veve and OMI, and what do you recommend to buy? So it really depends. There is a possibility that Essence launches and goes up a whole lot before OMI starts moving. And if that's the case, then yes, taking profit is, well, you don't go broke by taking a profit. And if you go and you do that, one of the things that if OMI's still down, I would definitely buy more. That's what I will do. I will sell some Essence if it has moved to a good amount, where I could take some out and put it into Veve and OMI. Most of it would go into OMI if it's still down here. But if we're going with collectibles on Veve, you have a couple of choices. You have Partner Statue, which is, everyone calls it the Walt, which it is. It's the first appearance of Walt Disney, but it's also the first appearance of Mickey Mouse. Oh my god. That is hilariously undervalued at the $2,000 that you can get it for right now. That's going to be $50,000 at some point. Who dat? Me home. What's up, me home? $20 hairs for the super chat. Oh, cheers, cheers to you, mate. Me home is a good. He's a good egg. He's a good lad. He's a mad lad. Where was I? Okay. So Partner Statue is one of the most important pieces on the entire app. Then you have Todd and Riso, the Todd McFarlane Batman and Eddie Riso Batman. The Eddie Riso is the first error that we have for Batman. First appearance goes to Todd, but Eddie Riso is labeled as a first edition, and he should not be. And that's the first error that we have. It's really cool, and he's the first ultra rare, and he's the first one that's scarce. There's only 1750 of him. There's a good amount that are in bot accounts that are locked up. So those three right there: Todd McFarlane Batman, Eddie Riso Batman, and then you have the Partner Statue. Those are top tier. Then you have the secret rare Spider-Man. Only 1,000 of them, which means 910 because Veve keeps 90. And then, okay, well, now you're down to 910. Dr. Prophet has like 70 of those. Okay, so go from 910 to 840. It's animated. That is a flex. That is a whole, that literally reached 100K last time. There were sales for like 58,000, 80,000. Like there were some big sales. So I think that's a grail, and I think that's a must as well. People go crazy for Peter Parker. All right, so that's 4. Who else? In my top 5 is the Veve gold and silver logo. That gold and silver Veve logo, get it pretty cheaply right now for like $3,800. That gives you access to David and Dan and being able to hang out with them at least once or twice a year. Yes, you're able to go, and if you go to those events, you can get these cards and you can redeem collectibles. You'll get an average of like $500 per year from redeeming those. That's fine. That's not the reason to get them. The reason to get them is to be that gold and silver Veve logo is to be able to go and spend time with David and Dan. That is a flex. I know right now, outside of Web3, nobody knows who David and Dan are. But they do co-own a multi-billion-dollar, at least billion right now. Again, in the bear market, the valuation probably went down, but at least $1 billion. They own $1 billion company, and Veve will be multiple billions, and it'll be tens of billions, and at some point it'll be hundreds of billions. It has the potential. They have that potential to be, I don't want to say like the next Elon Musk, but they are going to be famous people in the world. And that's that flex. You can go and hang out with them. You can build a relationship with them where you can go be like, hey, what do you say? Hey, I'm Sody Pop. I'm Sodium Poppy. And, they'd be like, oh, hey, how's it going? You have a logo. You hang out with them a couple times a year. Part of them, takes photos of them. And even if Dan and David were not in that equation, which, again, that definitely needs to be taken into account, you have other people. I'm not even going to put myself in that because, although I should put that in there, but the amount, I shouldn't say the amount, or I guess I can. The amount of high, I don't know how to say this without sounding, not good. the amount of high value people in that Veve gold and silver logo network, that's invaluable. The calculations to try to put a number on that is not so easily done. Not only are they some of the greatest people that I've ever met, they're fun, they're loving, they're just amazing to spend time with all of them. But if you want something done, like, guarantee you, you go to that circle, they'll know someone. Oh, I need this done on my house. Oh, I need this, can you recommend this to me? That type of networking. What do you have when you go to clubs? Everyone's always trying to outdo the other. Everyone's trying to go, oh, Nicki Minaj is in this club. Let me pay $50,000 for this table just so I can sit next to Nicki Minaj. Oh, the president is having a dinner. Let me spend $35,000 on a plate of really bad food to maybe get a 30-second conversation with them, or most likely you're just going to talk to the vice president for a couple minutes. What would you pay, or what? Not what you would pay. What do you think people would pay to spend an evening with billionaires? What would you pay? Like, again, even if it'd be like, well, I don't care what people make. I care how they treat others, how their heart is. Good, me too. But how much do you think other people would pay? Oh God, that's easily five figures. Like, this is stupid undervalued at $3,800. And because there's only 500 of these, people are going to go, and people are going to get these. They'll have no problem paying five figures for it. 10 grand, 20 grand. In this next bull market, this will go to $30,000 for that gold and silver Veve. So that's like kind of my top five to get. And there's others. There's the Miles Morales. There's amazing books, comic books. You have Amazing Fantasy 15. You have Marvel Comics #1, Fantastic Four #1, Fantastic Four #5. You just have a ton of these other comics that you could get, and I feel like I've gone on really, a lot about this. But Sodium Poppy, that's my, that's just kind of what I would buy if I were go in this, and I do the same thing you do. I sell some essence, and I get more into the collectibles. Even though I'm a master collector, I have 1,500 between comics and collectibles, so it's not like I have none. But gotta get more grails. Veve Magic, meow meow meow. You sent that to me 26 minutes ago. I don't know if you're still here, but if you are, I love you. Who dis? What the fudge? Okay, so we have South by Southwest. Their tickets are $1,400 and $1,800. What the fudge? I did not know that it was that expensive. That's a lot. That's a lot. So whoever goes to that, you make sure you get your money's worth. We have Max Metis, who is the CEO of Metis Mining, and Nodi Off. I don't know what these are. Is an organizer for Crypto XR, and he goes and says, "I'm very happy to have you on board Crypto XR, David Yu." And then, so let me go and give him a couple hearts there because he deserves that. And then you have David going and retweeting that or reposting that, giving his hearts, and his hearts are of the color of the French flag. So good for him. Oh my God. The David Yu's hairline is so hysterical. David Yu's hair, like the hair father, that's what he calls himself. Anyway, Jason Pena saying, "Can't wait for the Veve Netflix special when David reveals timing of everything, the epic raise that was OMI." Yeah. Most likely it would be on Disney Plus, but I'll take Netflix too. Veve Magic Eternals, the Eternals was in my, yep, you did it. Where was I? Prince Toby says 7 deadly sins, more like 7 deadly frames per second. Shots fired. It's worse than Boruto's filler episodes or Demons. When you have a character that's a pig that they named Hawk, Sold. I like in Fairy Tale, Happy's my favorite character. In Seven Deadly Sins, Hawk is my favorite character. It's just I love the animals. They're great. They're so much fun. Um, Bill Gardner says Apple Vision Pro sold out in a bunch of states. Bill Gardner says Magic, what's up? Almost like Ultimate Comic Spider-Man #1 comment at retail. Yo, Bill Gardner, gotta protect the mighties. We do. I'm waiting to see why. Why are we protecting the mighties? Will we find out this year? I don't know. We'll see. Obviously, people really they're into the IP branded worlds and they're into gamification. And a lot of people are like, listen, what if Marvel Mighties have a game attached to them? That would be great. Guys, even if they do eventually plan for a Marvel Mighties game, gamification is not until phase 4 of the Veveverse. Now, we'll get phase 1, most likely first half of this year, and we might even get phase 2 the second half of this year. Phase 2 is IP branded worlds. We have Ron English's Delusionville, that's confirmed. We don't know what other licenses are going to be in the IP branded worlds. We would hope the big stuff like Disney, Marvel, Star Wars, but when Bob Iger kind of went and fired the Disney Metaverse team, most likely he put Metaverse stuff on the back burner. Now, that being said, Bob Iger could have just been salty at Bob Chapek and said, oh, you know what? We're just going to downsize. Elon Musk is starting to fire people. We'll start firing people as well. And maybe he just fired the Metaverse team because they were Bob Chapek's people. And maybe, I don't know, he goes and he hires, who's the one that does the Equinox, not Equinox, whoever's the one that does Kingdom Hearts each year. I think that's Equinox. Maybe he hires them to do the Metaverse. They're a multi-billion-dollar company. He could just buy them. That would make sense. But whatever happens, even if they go and they decide to do that in an IP branded world for gamification, that's phase 4. You're likely not getting phase 4 until 2025. I just don't see them getting through 4 phases this calendar year when, the last round of beta invites was supposed to be December and now it's mid-January and we're not there. So if they can't get the last round of beta invites out and that's been delayed by a month, I'm not expecting them to get through 4 phases in 4 quarters. But again, I do expect to have phase 1 done this first half of the year, and phase 2, the IP branded worlds, to come out in in the second half of the year. It would be to my great delight if they go and say Marvel Mighty's World or Marvel World and the Mighties are gamified somehow. I'm not putting a ton of stock in that, but we do have to go and protect them for some reason, and we just don't know what the reason is. So, who knows? Where was I? Brian McSpadden says, so happy to own a partners. Good man. Prince Toby says, Mighties are peak. They like Vivi's Funko Pops. Yeah, totally. Prince Toby says, DBZ has a different kind of story. It's not bad. It's a story of fists. It's martial arts anime. Sure, it's not a good of an emotional story, as say Naruto, but for what it's supposed to be, it's peak. Yeah, I mean, emotional stories. Dude, Fairy Tale had me in tears a couple times. Like when you go to Lucy Heartfilia, I actually met a girl named Lucy Heartfilia once as well. She was wild. That's a story for another day. Anyway, about her parents, and she has this line that says, just as a flower can't choose where to bloom, a child can't choose who their parents are. So me, as someone that was adopted, I was just like, oh my God, Lucy Heartfilia, you speak so much truth. She's about to go away, but then she comes back and Happy, goes right into her bosom. She's like, Lucy. That has a lot of heart. Attack on Titan has a lot of heart, but there are certain things that Dragon Ball Z has a lot of heart with as well. It's few and far between, but Android 16's speech to Gohan, saying like, Gohan, let it go. It is not a sin to fight for the right cause. There are those who words alone will not reach. Cell is such a being. I know how you feel, Gohan. You are gentle. You do not like to hurt. But it's because you cherish life that you must protect it. Oh my God, I'm like tearing. I'm tearing up because I think I have allergies, but God, that was so beautiful. And then you have Piccolo going to Gohan and saying like, Gohan asked Piccolo, "Hey, why didn't you go to Namek too? You know, you could have been with your people." And Piccolo says, "I think family runs deeper than what you look like or what color your skin is, because Piccolo's green." And I was like, "Ooh, that's good." Yeah, and again, few and far between. Most of DBZ is fisticuffs, but yeah, that it had some heart in it as well. Uh, Prince Leia says, though they did butcher Goku's character in Super, made him act like a 5-year-old, even though he had all this character development. Okay, fair point. Good point. Good point. Sandbox saying, can you explain your reasoning on the potential price of the VV Gold logo version 1 in the future? Oh, I think I just did that. And that's why. Um, in exceeding, a lot of people are going to get it, like, and it's most likely not going to be people. There'll be people that'll always have it, but it's likely going to be corporations. It's likely going to be hedge funds. They'll be like, oh, how do we go and um, let's see what it would be. All right, there are certain people, and I won't say names. I won't say any circles. There are certain people that nobody wants to take pictures with. Why? Just because sometimes they do things that piss people off, or they do things that could be offensive. They do things whatever, and people don't want to take pictures with those people. If you are being canceled on Twitter, you're being canceled, whatever. Like if life is not going so hot, what better way to bring up your social stock than to get a picture with a company that's run by someone that's entrusted with the Disney IP? Like, you know, that's a really good way to kind of bump up your social stock. And people do it for the laws. Like if you have a hedge fund going and taking a pic. Like David loves taking pictures with everyone. He had a picture with CZ. He gets a picture with everyone he meets. If you have somebody else that's in charge of a hedge fund, mutual fund, whatever, and suddenly they go and they one of their people, or even them themselves, they go in, they take a picture with a company that's going to be worth tens of billions or hundreds of billions of dollars. That is an amazing narrative where you can go and you don't have to write the article. You could let it slip to somebody that works at the Wall Street Journal. You could let it slip for somebody that works at Bloomberg and be like, oh, hey, look what I found on someone's Instagram. Why is this company meeting with the CEO and COO? What were they doing? What were they talking about? The speculation is real, and they could do that for any number. Like if, I don't know, somebody worked for Yahoo, or if somebody works for just a failing company and they just want to bump their stock, could a potential merger be happening? That, and what does it cost you? $10,000 to do that? You can't buy that type of press. I feel like Falcone talking to Bruce Wayne, be like, there's 2 off-duty cops and there's a sitting judge. I could murder you right now in this very restaurant and not see the inside of a cell. That is not just power. That is fear, and that is money, or that is something that you cannot buy, Mr. Wayne. And that's I know I butchered that horribly, but that's you can't buy the type of press that you can't. I mean, you can, and it's going to cost you whatever the gold and silver VV logo is. Um, it's never bad to have billionaires in your circle. Slowly but surely, people will realize that, and I hope. So this is what I think I know what Sanjay's trying to do, because he has a group on Telegram for the gold and silver logo holders, and I think him and David kind of cooked this up. It's going to get real enticing to sell that. Maybe not now, because it's $3,500, 3,800, after fees and cash out, whatever. You might walk away with 3 grand. People understand that what that group represents, and what the opportunities you have with the team, with David and Dan. It's worth a lot more than 3 grand. Most people aren't selling it for that price. But when it gets to 10 grand, hey, my kid's gonna need a car soon. This pays for half a year's tuition at my kid's school, or I don't have health insurance and I need to dental insurance. I need to get whatever it is. 20 grand. Ooh, that's a lot. That's all you do, a lot with 20 grand. Eventually, most of these people will go and sell because other people are going to make offers that are too good to refuse. And um, I think what David and Sanjay are trying to do is to create a really good base with really good people with emotions attached so that they don't sell. Because what likely they don't want happening is these logos to go into the hands of corporations and hedge funds, and it's just you know I mean that will happen because people will sell to them, but I think their goal is to make the heart of the group stay central to Veve. Like I remember, like 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago at this point, the tiles in Earth Two that the Statue of Liberty was on went to two guys in South Korea, and me as an American, um, I felt that that building or that statue, that U.S. landmark, even though it was given to us by the French, I felt like that should have stayed in American hands, and I wanted it in American hands, and I still do, and it wasn't. We let it get scooped up by the South Koreans. In that same way, I really hope that these gold and silver logos, that the majority of them are held by people that have heart, are OGs that live and breathe this community, because that will be very sad if the pendulum swings the other way and suddenly you know all the friends we met and all the friends we go and we love and we got to see a few times a year, and by then OMI will be up and we can go see them whenever we want, but that'll be really sad if we don't see them at these events because they sold to, I don't know, the president of, I don't know, Nature Made or CVS or whatever, and now they have it, and I'm sure they're cool people, but it's just going to be a weird dynamic if that happens. So I'm hoping that what Sanjay and David are doing kind of takes. Um, I hope it works. So that's kind of Sandbox. Just a further explanation for you. Big A says this is going to be Randy telling bedtime stories to his future kid. um, I've had a I've had a bunch. There's a couple of people, older people, like one of the girls I live with. Her name's Megan. I was good friends with her grandfather, and randomly he'd be like, "Oh, Chavez, when you get married, have some little bambinos." I was like, "What?" "Yeah, get married, have some bambinos." Like, kids? Yeah, that's what you do. You get married, you have kids, and you raise a kid, and yeah. And I was like, "Sir, I don't know, I don't know, I can't do it. I just can't." Um, when the clock's back to Easter, Christmas, so it was a few years ago. At my friend Tina's, and she has this nice older couple there from church. The dude is like a Vietnam vet, so we kind of got along with the military stuff, and his wife seemed nice enough, and I sat next to the wife at dinner. As soon as this turkey is carved, as soon as whatever, getting something on our plate, she grabs hold of my arm, and she looks at me and she says, "Did you know that Jesus wants you to have babies?" I did not. I don't know how he knows. And she was just like, "It's true." I was like, "Oh my god!" Like RKO out of nowhere. I did want to be a young dad when I was younger. I'm too old. I have too much wrong with me. Kids probably not a good idea. So I've been getting into Young Sheldon. I love Big Bang Theory. I've seen like pretty much every episode, but Young Sheldon is about him and his family when he was younger, and dude, those kids are hilarious. He's hilarious. His sister's hilarious. His brother's hilarious, and their Mima or the grandma has such a cool relationship with the grandkids of just like taking them to the track, taking them to the shooting range, and letting them eat candy and just be crazy. And she's the cool grandma. I want to be a cool grandma. I don't want to be. I don't think I'm responsible enough to be a dad. Um, but I'll be a cool uncle. I'll be a cool grandpa. I'll be with someone that you know. A lot of the women that I've dated have had kids, and this is fun. But I don't have to deal with them. I don't have to I don't have to be the heavy, and I feel bad with parents a lot of times because you can't just have fun with your kids. They can't just be like your drinking buddy. Like, when they do something that's funny, a lot of times it's like, hey, don't do that. And you have to go against your, what you think is funny, what you want to have a good time with them, and you have to say, like, no, it's not good. You shouldn't do this. And it's just a delicate balance of like, hey, you know, do no harm but take no shit. That's so hard to do. Like where do you draw that line of just like, this is okay, just let it go, just walk away, versus like, okay, this person deserves a punch in the face for that. Like it's very, very hard, and especially nowadays. It's although nowadays got a lot of not, and I know every generation says this about the younger generation, but I have these two friends, Michael and Christian, they're men. They're like 18, 20 years old, but they're men. And why do they get a lot of girls? Why do they have? Because they are men and they work out. They have good heads on their shoulders. They're smart, but they have a good work ethic. Their father instilled that in them, and he's also inculcated in them a good financial mind. Hey, save, don't overspend, don't get in credit card debt, and they're just they have the pick of the litter. Yes, they're tall, they're good looking, whatever, but they're men, and a lot of kids in this generation of Gen Zers, they are so soft. They are so they're not like men, and maybe they'll become it one day, but have a kid and raise them to be a man, they'll have a much easier time getting the ladies and getting the whatever. And I mean, that should be one of the goals, survive and reproduce, but I don't know. I don't think I can do kids. I have no problem being the cool uncle to my friends' kids. I've done that for many years, had a lot of fun. Um, yeah, good times. Moving on here. Croner says, Randy, what's your take on the cat crypto post migration? I loaded up before it closed. So you have the stealth launch that'll happen in a couple days. So when you have the cat and it no longer having that Grumpycat account, that like the OG Grumpycat that continuously shits on us, continuously goes and says like, oh, this is a scam, this is whatever, and like they clearly are just anti crypto or anti NFT, whatever, and they, anytime we build momentum, they just come in with their big, 2 million followers, whatever, and be like, this is a scam, this isn't mine. Like, okay, well, we're not trying to be you. Like, you don't own cat dwarfism. There's like dozens of different types. Um, but that was just a really, really big kind of thing that you couldn't get rid of. Now that you rebrand to the cat, again, comics still coming out, games still coming out. Nothing's changing. I mean, just the face of it's changing, but there's still a lot of really good catalysts to come. I have a buddy of mine that I'm gonna try to get like as soon as it's available to go and do that. He'll buy a good amount. Um, I've still never sold a Grumpy. I've migrated, but I have never sold a Grumpy. I will, if OMI and Essence goes up before this does, I'll dollar cost average, but I haven't sold. You managed to. Sorry, Bill. Was just saying hi. Multitasking. Me home. Thank you so much for the super chat. Saying cheers. Cheers, mate. Ooh, who this? Ooh. Oh, my boy. Let's go. My boy just reached level 96. Not me. Obviously, it's my boy. He's got the number 2 sub 100 wallet on Veve. Like all of the sub 100s that are there, he's got the second most on the entire app. Mad lad. Let's see how many that actually is. I'm really curious. Swamp. Okay, if we go to the leaderboards and we go to, should be all collectibles, right? Top Veve. Yeah. He's got 632 sub 100 collectibles on Veve. He's obviously Dr. Profit still has, four times as much as that, but he's number 2 on this entire app. That's absolutely incredible. So shout out to him for that. And he's now level 96. That's heckin' wild. I love him. Gunther Heisenberg saying the hat is first appearance Mickey of the Mickey's hat. That was good. Connor says, how do you manage your crypto transactions for tax purposes? Do it yourself. You have someone keeping tabs for you. Thanks, Randy. It's pretty easy to do because Coinbase has something for you. And then all you have to do is, I think Bitforex has that as well. But you just have to keep track of what comes in and what goes out. And then I give it to my accountant, and then he does that all for me. But yeah, that's soon. It's soon. And so he says, if we ever get a Gordon Ramsay NFT, we need an idiot sandwich animated NFT. Oh, I'd love that. BD Magic says, I'm still here. I love you too. Feels. Big feels. Jason Pena saying, worth noting, the Gold Silver logo group is strong AF. It is morphing, getting stronger with every attrition and every new member. Jason Pena says, the genius of the Gold Silver logo, it is its own protector. As weak hands fold and true collectors hold, the price will go up, requiring new holders to be even higher conviction. Agreed, Thur. Bill Garner says, Jason agreed. Bill Garner says, with dealing with Dr. Profit, it definitely proved to me what that being in that group is worth its weight in gold. Glad I bought too. No pun intended, right? Omar Casado says Apple has made around $300 million in revenue in one day from Vision Pro. Let's see how many were purchased then. Okay. What did you say, $300 million? That's insane. So it would be about, what, 80... So they sold about 84,000 units. God, that's nuts. At 35, that's about 294 million. So that's, God, that's insane. And that looks to be it. I know I've been live here for a couple hours. Okay, yeah, that's it. Thank you all so much for coming by. Thank you all so much for the super chats. Connor says the company hopes to reel in about 1.4 billion this year. Well, they're like a fifth of the way there. 20% there. Good for them. Yeah, once people start making videos about it, in the next couple months, I think on February 2nd, some people are receiving that. The secondary market, people likely pay like 5K for that. 6K even. Connor says, thanks, Randy. No problem, bro. Thank you guys so much for everything. It means a lot. Y'all being here. Y'all chilling with me while I talk about Night Big A. While I talk about mostly good quality positive stuff, but also sometimes I drift off into nonsense, and that happens. So anyway, comment, like, and subscribe. Comments are good for the YouTube algorithm. Everyone say goodbye to Dashi. Bye-bye, Dashi. I love you guys. Goodbye. Meow, 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 meow. Oh, Mr. TV Magic. Yes, we'll do. Meow, meow, meow. Where's the X? Okay, bye.